What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. Welcome to the brand new suite. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's Greatness Thursday. It's Think Different Thursday. Are you ready to think different today? Are you in the mindset of not being like everybody else? That's what we do here in the brand new suite. I'm not going to be long this morning because these trees are actually bothering me. I don't know why. Every time I stand out here, it actually seems to bother me. But y'all know what we've been doing all this week. We've been talking about being the intentional entrepreneur. I want you to come away this week. My assignment this week is for you to come away being the intentional entrepreneur, being intentional about what you do, being intentional about the choices that you make, being intentional. Excuse me, y'all. I told you it's getting in my throat. Being intentional about how the choices that we make and the decisions that we make as well. We talked about purpose-driven action. We talked about strategic planning. We talked about mindful decision-making. All of these things gear us in our being an intentional entrepreneur. Intentional entrepreneurs make purpose-driven actions. Intentional entrepreneurs have strategic plans. Intentional entrepreneurs have make mindful decisions. And today, what I'm going to deal with, entrepreneurs also have continuous learning and adaptation. We're adamant about that. We're always adamant as an entrepreneur, as an intentional entrepreneur. You should always be intentional about your learning. Not just about learning, but what you are learning as well. That's just as important. It's not just about learning, but it's about what you are learning. Be intentional about the things that you read, things that you listen to, all of those things. I try to be intentional, and I ain't said I do it all the time, but when I'm on my walks, I try to listen to things that make me better. I'm intentional about those things, whether it's a sermon that I listen to, or it's a podcast that I listen to, or if it's a speaker that I really like, and I want to hear them speak and what they have about certain things. If I'm learning something, all of those things go into me continuously learning. And intentional entrepreneurs are continuous learners. And here's what happens. By embracing a mindset of continuous learning and adaptation, you stay informed on industry trends, you stay informed on emerging technology, and best practices that are going on and that you can use. And tools that you can use in order to be able to enhance you as a entrepreneur. And you got to be open to feedback and willing to adjust your strategies based on new information, market, shifts, view challenges as opportunities for growth and innovation. That's what being a continuous learner and adaptation is when it comes to being an intentional entrepreneur. You got to be willing to do those things. Be open to learning. Be open to listening. Be open to be abreast of what's going on. That's why I love to read. I love to read because reading keeps me informed. Listening to certain news outlets and certain aspects of what's going on in the world and the industries, and I've always had that passion inside of me. And one of the things that I would do growing up, when I would have to meet my mother downtown at her job at Social Security, and one of the things that I would do was I would get the USA Today newspaper. I don't even know if the USA Today newspaper is still out, but I would get the newspaper, and do you know the first section that I would go to? No, it wasn't the sports section. It wasn't reading the front page. I would go to the money section. They have a money section in there that talks about all of the things that were going on with finances, with money, with business, and that's what piqued my interest, because I always had this unbridled passion for understanding how money works. I was intentional about learning about how money works. What's up, D? And that we have to be intentional, because it taught me so much, and I've continued that to this day. And what that allowed me to do, and has allowed me to do, was to learn, but it also allowed me to be able to adapt to the different shifts and changes that are going on in our world today, in our society today. Don't think that the pandemic didn't have a dramatic impact on, on society, but also businesses. But if you aren't plugged in to what was going on, you really didn't, you really wound up being behind the bell curve, being behind the 8 ball, being behind in what was going on in society. And as an entrepreneur, you can't afford to do that. You cannot afford to do that. You have to be intentional. So let's get into these three ways that you can be intentional by learning and adapting, or learning and adaptation. Let me back up a little bit. It's in the sun. And number one, you want to you have to embrace a growth mindset. Do you, as an entrepreneur, have a growth mindset? Why do y'all think I come on here each and every day and I say my assignment is to make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year? That's a growth mindset. I want to make sure that you are continuously growing. Like I said, it's 1% each and every day, giving you something that you have today that you did not have yesterday. That's the goal. That's the assignment, y'all. That's the premise that I come from, being an unintentional entrepreneur. I'm intentional about your growth. I'm intentional about my growth. So I have to do things and give you things that allow you to be able to do that. Being an intentional entrepreneur, you adopt a growth mindset that sees challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. You got to understand that success is not static, but rather a journey of continuous improvement. You should be continuously improving as an entrepreneur. And by embracing a mindset of curiosity and resilience, you can remain open to new ideas, feedback, and experiences. You can actively seek out learning opportunities, whether through formal education, whether informal education. Hopefully this is informal education, because formal education would be sitting in the classroom learning. This is somewhat of a classroom. Hopefully the things that you learn here, you're able to implement them and you're learning from them. Mentors, we talk about that all the time. Do you have a mentor in your life? Someone that is where it is that you're trying to get to, that you can lean on, that you can talk to, in order to be able to get you where it is that you want to be able to get to, and be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that we encounter as entrepreneurs. But if you're not intentional, you're going to fall through those pitfalls. This is a way that you expand, having a growth mindset, you expand your knowledge and your skills. You got to stay ahead of the curve. You got to stay ahead of everybody else. If you're going to be at the forefront of your industry, you got to learn. You got to keep learning. Those that learn, those that continuously learn, are those that will be successful in the end. Number two, staying agile and responsive. What you do here is you want to prioritize your agility and responsiveness in your approach to your business and the business. Understanding trends when you see things that are happening. If you're already in tune to it, then you can adapt, you can adjust to those things before things happen. So you have to understand the pace and change of today's world requires you to be nimble and adaptable. It means you got to be able to move. You got to be able to shift. You got to move. You got to shift. You got to move. You got to shift. I like that. You got to move. You got to shift. You got to move. You got to shift. You got to move. Put that in the comments for me. Shift and move. That's what intentional entrepreneurs do. Rather than sticking to rigid plans or outdated strategies, you have to be willing to pivot. You got to be willing to shift. You got to be willing to iterate iterate. I'm sorry, customer preferences. Based on information and feedback. What are those that you serve telling you? Are they telling you that they want something that needs to be done differently? That's one of the things that I've learned, to listen to those that I serve. They'll tell you what they want. And if you are intentional about giving, you got to give the people what they want, right? And being intentional about doing and giving your those that you serve what they're asking for, trust and believe they become loyal clients. They become those that will serve with you no matter what. They'll follow you to the ends of earth. They really will. When if you monitor the market trends, your customer preferences, competitive landscape closely, use the data and insights to make informed decisions. When you make those informed decisions, you allow yourself to be able to be a better entrepreneur. But you got to be intentional about gathering that information. You got to gather the information. You got to understand the benefits that you bring. You've got to be able to explain those benefits. You got to give people options as to what it is that you're offering, so that they know that you're not just giving them something that you want to give them. You're giving them something that they're asking for. Because I promise you won't be around long if you're not giving people what they're asking for. That's what we do as intentional entrepreneurs. We're intentional about the products and services that we offer to people. But why? Because we believe it solves their problem. You won't be in business long if you aren't solving someone's problem. And you want to solve someone's problem the way you stay in business. You solve someone's problem on a big scale, on a consistent, growing scale. So that's number 2, staying agile. By staying agile and responsive, you can actually capitalize on emerging opportunities and navigate challenges more effectively. So you got to be willing. You got to dash and you got to move. You got to adapt. You got to move. Absolutely. Absolutely. Really, is that better? Is that better? Hopefully it is. I don't know if that's better or not, because I'm standing outside, so it's not noisy at all, man. You got to move, you got to shift, exactly. And number 3, you have to be willing to foster a culture of learning. There's that word again, learning. You got to be an intentional entrepreneur. You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to create a culture of learning, within your organization, within yourself. Within yourself, where it's in continuous improvement, not only for you, continuous improvement for the products and services that you have, and then improved value, so that you take those that you serve to another level, where they have the expectation of the value that you're offering to them, that you're always looking for a way to increase the value of what you bring to those individuals. I promise you, if you're intentional about the value that you bring to those that you serve, you'll forever be a game changer in your industry. You'll forever have people that will always be seeking what it is that you have to offer. I promise you, take a look at the most successful people in any industry, and I promise you, you look at how intentional they are at serving those, at offering value to those that they serve. Increased value, consistent value, committed value. It will take you, your business and your brand to the next level. And that's how they got there. I truly believe every Fortune 500 company got there because they had, at the top, they had entrepreneurs that were intentional about value. They were intentional about service. They were intentional about their product. They were intentional about what it is that they did each and every day. I want you to be intentional about the value that you bring to your industry. Now, I know that I am. I am adamant about the value that I offer. I truly believe that the entrepreneurial briefcase that I offer, it is something that I believe that adds value to people. It's something that adds sustainability to people, to entrepreneurs. To entrepreneurs. All of those things that I would want, I put into the entrepreneurial briefcase. Why? Because it was what I wanted, what I needed as I was growing in my industry. And even now, it's still things that I use. I'm not giving you all anything that I don't use myself. So being intentional, I'm talking to you, but I'm also talking to myself. I'm watching this video. I know I'm making it, but I'm watching it also. And these are the things that I believe that as entrepreneurs, that when you are intentional and you're using these using these tools that I'm bringing to you, this digital content and the tools that I give to you here, it assists you in being able to understand on a continuous basis what makes us successful. So you by nurturing the culture, a culture of learning, you not only cultivate a more engaged and motivated workforce, those that work with you, those that work for you, and those that you even serve, but also a more resilient, adaptive organization capable of thriving in a rapidly changing world. You give yourself the ability to be able to change. Those businesses that did not have a culture of learning, that did not have that were not looking to stay agile and responsive, and did not embrace a growth mindset, those are the businesses that are no longer here. Those are the churches that are no longer here. Why? Because they were not intentional about what it is that they're doing or were doing. But we've got to be intentional. That's the one word I need you to do. I need you to think about all this week. Am I being intentional about the decisions that I'm making? Am I intentional about growth? Am I intentional about being adaptable? Am I intentional about creating a culture of learning? What am I cultivating within myself? What am I cultivating within my circle of impact? Are you impacting the people that you surround yourself with, that you do business with? What's the culture that you're creating? I know I'm adamant about the culture that I create. The culture that I create is one of wisdom, one of vision, one of uniqueness, one of commitment, one of consistency, one of excellence, and one of accountability. That's how we roll. That's how we roll in the Brand U Suite. That's how we roll at J&F Enterprises. We set the standard. We are the standard. That's how you remain top of mind in whatever industry that you're in, whatever market that you're in. Those that are intentional, those entrepreneurs that are intentional, are those entrepreneurs that will remain a character of one when it comes to when people think about your industry. When people think about the industry that you're in, you want to be top of mind. You want to be that category of one. Are you your category of one? And if you can't say yes to that, you got work to do today to be intentional. How can I? Told you we got to think today. This is think different Thursday. This is Greatness Thursday. In order for you to be great, in order for you to think differently, you got to be intentional about it. This is what I'm trying to get us to be able to do. I shift our mindset and move us. And move us in every way. Yeah, D, it's all about, I'm my 530 days. Where y'all at? I need y'all to go to the YouTube channel, and I'm going to put the link in the comment section. Put the YouTube channel in the link. I need you to subscribe today. I'm going to get my 500, y'all. I need y'all to help me share the video. If this is any way assisting you, two things. I want you to share it out. Tell people about it. let people know about it so that they can grow. And then two, if this helps you in any kind of way, and y'all know I'm on this, oh, this pollen is killing me. And and if this has helped you in any kind of way, and you're looking to be able to what? Reclaim your time and avoid burnout. And if these assist you in being intentional, does that. It allows you to be able to reclaim your time and avoid burnout. Hit me up, shoot me a DM saying I want to be intentional. I want to be intentional. Or you can just put intentional in there. Shoot me an email at jnfenterprisesllc@gmail.com and put in the subject line intentional. And let's connect. We can talk about how we can assist you in being able to be intentional, how you can reclaim your time, how you can avoid the burnout. Because we're on a mission here, y'all. Make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. Appreciate y'all. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. We're going to be right back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.